Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Superpowers. I'm Dawn, and this is Karen.
And we have a great Spiritual Superpowers replay for you today.
So enjoy. All right, we are going to tell you how we met and how we came to discover world of spirituality together.
I think what happened is, I don't know, was it about 10 years ago? Or more?
12.
12 years ago.
Actually, 13.
13 years ago.
2007, yes.
We met at a triathlon.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I was racing my first triathlon, and the woman that had helped me train for it was there with me, and she came up to you very excited and was like, "Oh my goodness, I hear Karen Shepley is here." and
Do you know where she is? And I'm like, I'm Karen Shepley. So it was kind of funny.
it was because Karen and her husband Barry are well-known triathlon coaches. But obviously she had just never seen you. But
Right.
I believe she saw your name on the roster and just got really excited that such a well-known coach was going to be there.
So then fast forward, I became your coach.
Yes.
And trained you for the World Championships in 2008 in
That's right.
Vancouver.
Yeah. So when luckily, having Jody introduce me and find out who you were as a coach, as soon as I qualified, I knew I wanted you to coach me. And so we spent the next, 9 months. You were helping me prepare for the race.
Yeah.
And so we got to know each other. I went to Karen's yoga classes every week, which were amazing. You were extremely supportive and very knowledgeable. So it was a fun year.
And I think we started talking about our spiritual interests one day on the paddleboard. I also teach yoga on the paddleboard. And we were paddling, and you started telling me about tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, that was our first kind of connection to talking about things on a higher spiritual level.
Right.
I mean, I think once you started that conversation, it opened the door to a lot of other conversations.
It did, and it was a leap of faith for me to be bringing it up because in another episode I do mention that anytime I had brought up any of the woo-woo stuff, I would normally, the reception wasn't very good, and I had learned to just keep things to myself. So me talking to you about the tarot and any of the woo-woo was you were the first person to receive it so well and so openly and not look at me like I'm crazy. So yeah, it just kind of it opened up that door for us to have that conversation with one another going forward.
And then when I, went to see this medium and started to do courses, I felt like you were the only one that I could talk to about it. For a long time, I was in the spiritual closet, and still in some respects I am, but
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But I felt like I could talk to you, that you understood, and I think the feeling was mutual.
Definitely, yeah.
So it was interesting that all of a sudden, our relationship changed because we could talk on this level about things, and it was amazing how parallel our development was. We were kind of we were experiencing a lot of the same spiritual growth, a lot of the same challenges in somewhat different ways, but it was amazing how parallel things were. So it was great to have someone to talk to about those things.
We both kind of hit the apex of our lesson, if you will, around the same time. I was getting sicker and was trying to figure out why, and then very similarly, you ended up surprisingly being diagnosed with colon cancer. And, we did look into treatment through, the medical treatment, naturopathic treatment. But then we also, because we were into this new world of spirit, we looked at it from a soul journey point of view as well. What is our lesson here? What's trying to be communicated to us? What do we need to learn? And so I looked into, because I was going through for testing for lymphoma. I decided to look into the symbolism of lymphoma. And Louise Hay, she developed Hay House, and through understanding what your body's trying to communicate. And then once you kind of associate it with maybe a mental or emotional or spiritual issue, then you have different insight and could possibly change the course of your ailment and heal yourself. So when I looked into lymphoma, it was about relationships, both with the self and with the external world. And at that time, I really wasn't listening to my needs. So I had to get reacquainted with my body and my needs. And then I was in a relationship that wasn't serving me anymore, but we kept trying to make it work, and it just really wasn't working. So I wasn't fulfilled that way. And my practice, I really didn't have good balance, good boundaries with my own professional practice. So I was giving too much of myself away and draining myself. So that perspective gave me a new insight into what maybe my body was trying to communicate through being as sick as it was. So that's when I started to look at, that's really when I dove into following more the signs and listening to my body and taking those leaps of faith to heal myself. At that same time,
I was diagnosed with colon cancer, and it was an odd thing because I'd been vegetarian for 30 years. Don't smoke, don't drink a lot, exercise, do yoga, I do all the right things, no family history. So it just didn't make sense. Where did this come from? So I think when you get an illness, it's good to address the physical and the mental side of things, and investigate the causes, but also the spiritual side. And for me, I really thought that this was a soul journey of sorts, that there were lessons that I had to learn, looking at it from that perspective really helped me realize that, on the bad days, and there were some bad days, that on the bad days, those are the days where you learn the most about yourself. Mm-hmm. And I knew that there was something I was supposed to learn going through this journey. So it was an interesting perspective, and it really helped me get through it all and not be, depressed or stressed. Like, I was a little stressed, but not as stressed as I think it would have otherwise been.
You never had a poor me moment.
No.
Those really hard times, you recognized it. Okay, what is this about? And you really looked inward.
Yeah.
Rather than blaming or.
Yeah, I didn't feel a victim, and I think mm-hmm. it's because I really felt like deep down that this was a soul journey, and I needed to learn some lessons, and so I just looked at it that way, and I kind of look at it that way with other people. Obviously you have to address the physical part of it. You have to address the mental stress and that sort of thing, but really there's a spiritual side that people forget about mm-hmm. addressing.
And it was really great that we had each other to bounce those ideas off of too. Mm-hmm. And that paired with our soul coaching classes and intuitive development classes, we really got to apply it practically to our own journeys. It was an experiment pretty much for us to, what else, what have we got to lose, right? Like, let's bring that into, into our treatments as well. And I can speak for me. I don't know if it's the same with you, but it was pivotal for me. Had I not had had I not spent so much time learning about the spiritual aspect and my needs from a soul journey level or soul contract, I probably would not be in the shape that I'm in today.
Yeah, and I think for myself, I'm really glad I had that spiritual awakening prior to this, because I think my journey with this illness would have been entirely different. So, and I'm happy to say that both of us have worked really hard on the physical and the mental and the spiritual end of things. And fingers crossed, we seem to have come out the other side, doing pretty good.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we can keep each other accountable for moving forward, making sure that we do look at things from different perspectives, and making sure that we do encourage one another to listen to our bodies and not necessarily always get into our heads or get into our own ways.
And I think that's hard sometimes, as much as we're as immersed in the spiritual world as we are, and and we both have really good intuition. The hard part still is listening to that intuition.
Trusting our instincts, yes. And it is hard, and the real world doesn't necessarily support that way of thinking either. So So at least we have each other to keep us focused.
And I think that was the biggest purpose of, if I were to say that my illness was a soul journey, that was the biggest learning that came out of it, to trust my intuition. And sometimes I did, and sometimes I didn't. It's hard, right?
Yeah, it is. It's hard, and we're gonna just have to keep learning at it and keep practicing and sharing our lessons with you. And we're very fortunate that we have each other, but I'd like to think that our viewers can also join us in our journey moving forward, and we would love to hear what some of our viewers are going through, and if they have any questions or want to share their stories. We are here for you, just as we were here for one another. And we encourage everyone to start their journey and
start the conversation. Start the conversation with others. That there's different ways to approach challenges and illnesses. Not to neglect the physical part and the medical part, but there's so much more. There's so much out there that can help you through your own journey.
Hi everyone. Well, we wanted to give you an update on our Parallel Lives video. I think when we filmed that video, we felt like we were on the other side of things, right?
Boy, were we naive.
Yeah.
No, we just went from like grade 3 in Earth School to grade 4 and now grade 5.
And we kind of did a wrap-up video at the end of this year where we explained, some of the other health challenges we were facing for early in 2023. And, again, we got to the other side of those challenges and thought, okay, we're on the other side of it now. And then what happened?
Well, let's show everyone. And me. Just as we thought we were moving forward, both of our journeys led us to almost the same time. Injury, where we're then knocked back off.
Yes, I'm going to take this off so I can talk better. But what Dawn isn't showing you as well is that she also is in a knee brace.
Yeah. I had surgery, had my 3-month bed rest come to an end. All excited to get back into life. Got 2 weeks out, kind of driving and getting back into fitness and just being happy again. And then I had a scooter accident in Belgium where I badly sprained my wrist, chipped my elbow, and blew out my right knee. So it has been 2.5 weeks, and it's an ongoing recovery. My knee's doing better, but my arm sadly is still taking a lot longer than I would like. And then you, Karen.
Yeah, well, my scans were going well. Everything was going well. Again, thinking we're on the other side of these health challenges. And I was feeling really good one day and decided to do some painting in the living room just over here. And I climbed up on this ladder and I slipped off. And I broke the C2 vertebrae in my neck. And yeah, and actually at the time I didn't think I had broken my neck. I just thought I had bad whiplash, but I thought I should go and get it checked out. And sure enough, oh my gosh. So this brace I'm supposed to wear for 3 months. Yeah. I'm 2 months in. I'm supposed to wear it for another month, but if I'm not in a situation where I could fall and re-injure it, I can take it off. So don't worry. I do wear it when I'm in a car. I'm not allowed to drive yet. It just was a crazy thing. I think we've learned a few things out of these injuries. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that we still are learning patience and receiving. Healing. Yeah. And we were just felt like we were over the hump. We were really excited to kind of get back to life, and maybe a little too ambitious and overdid it. So.
Yeah, and I think that's a message for all of us. I think if you're going through a healing journey or any sort of journey, maybe rushing the process isn't a good idea.
Right. And I think maybe we were both slightly guilty of trying to jump right back to our old lives, which we're supposed to be moving
forward
from. Yes. Yeah, so here we are again, more parallels.
Yes.
We were both, feeling better, and then...
Yeah. So anyway, if you like this video, make sure you give us the thumbs up and hit that notification bell if you haven't. So when we do relaunch, you can see when those videos are happening.
Yes. And we really enjoy you joining us for Spiritual Superpowers Replay. And we hope that you are looking forward to the new videos as much as we are. So stay tuned, and in the meantime, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.